I think we got to talk about some super problems. So I was not. I think I was out for a little bit, but I had no idea. First of all, I didn't even watch this full thing. So let me pull this up. Let me get this loaded up here. Before we watch this, let's do this properly. All right. I had came on to social media and I saw people was going crazy. Now forget the Yamcha pose. That, first of all, shout out to Dragon Ball Z. That Yamcha pose is hilarious. But I saw folks going crazy over this teaser, and I was like, what is the problem? Why are people up in arms over this trailer? So let's just look at this little 30-second teaser and see if we can find what the problem was. By the way, James Gunn did for this spot, he CGI'd out some of the blood in Superman's mouth. So don't get it twisted. Superman is bleeding here, but he did take that out. But let's see what's going on with this. There we go, like Dr. Robot. And this was it. This what y'all was mad at? This was it. These 3 little seconds. Now, James Gunn has come out and he's had to say there was no CGI here, nothing like that. Guys, really? This is what we tripping on? This is what folks got an issue with? Now, I heard people talking about this man's eye. Leave his eyeball alone. I think his eyeball, that could be the lens. Sometimes the lens can be a little weird. From what I understand, the man ain't got no lazy eye. Maybe this will be fixed in post-production because sometimes the trailers are not always, done. But this is what y'all was tripping on? These 3 little seconds of this man twirling in the air? Y'all didn't like the super twirls? Listen, all I know is this feels manufactured because, as we all know, there's a certain segment of the population that's out there that hated this movie before it was even thought up in James Gunn's head. If this was nobody can be Superman without Henry Cavill, if that's the way you thought, it didn't matter what this man was going to do. It didn't matter what he was going to fly through. It didn't matter what. It didn't matter whether he had the trunks on or the trunks off. If he had the S going this way or the S going that, it does not matter. Because some of y'all, not all of y'all here, but some of them folks out there, and y'all know who y'all are, have come to this predetermined, manufactured bias. Because it's not Zack Snyder and it's not Henry Cavill, and you can't let go of your past bitterness. Because that's what it is. I need y'all to learn how to move on. And this is what I would plead to them. Moving on does not mean that you forget. It does not mean that you forget. You can go buy Man of Steel on DVD. You can go have Batman v Superman and Justice League. You can have all those things on streaming, on Blu-ray. You can watch them to your heart's content. But this bitterness of hating and prejudging and pre-negativity on everything and anything that ain't what you thought could have been, don't be that person. We make fun of those people when they become old and they're like, oh, well, it wasn't the way I thought it was back in my day. Don't become that person because you are in the early stages of not my day. That's what you're becoming right now. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I mean, even James Gunn said that, like, listen, maybe Henry Cavill might come back. Maybe. There's always the multiverse. They might do some crazy stuff. I mean, we do know that in the storylines, there is a Crisis on Two Earths and, type of storyline, or Crisis on Infinite Earths, where you could bring back all the favorite Superman. It's possible, but that ship has sailed. And I need you all, everybody, to just accept the fact that they tried something for over 10 years and it didn't work with enough people. It didn't make enough money. And forget all the reasons. Yes, studio interference. Yes, poor receptions. Yes, just didn't work. Whatever the reasons, it just didn't work. It's time to move on. Because if all we doing is tripping over a dude doing a little super twirl in the barrel roll, like, come on, man, y'all reaching. And take it from somebody who's had to go against the grain with a certain movement. It does not help if all you do is complain about every single little thing, because at some point, people will stop listening to you. At some point, you will lose the impact of your message. You guys would be better off waiting for something eventual to happen. Like, let's say Superman flops. Now talk your stuff, right? Let's say Superman comes out and they have terrible CGI because, like in Justice League when they had the mouth and the mustache and all that stuff. Let's say something bad like that happens in this movie. Now y'all can talk y'all stuff. But if you're going to sit here and nitpick, and, oh, well, the cape, it's not as red as it should be. Oh, well, the angle of him flying is not the way. This is the way. Oh, his arms are up, but now they're down. What? Like, do you really want people to take you seriously? Because it sounds very nitpicky. Anyway, that ain't even the real problem Superman got to deal with. Okay? Dealing with people and they little biases and stuff, that's one thing. But they got bigger problems. They got super problems right now. And that super problem is, can y'all even play where you need to play? Because the estate of Superman creator Joseph Schuster has filed a whole lawsuit against WB and DC. They claim that the studio lacks the rights to release James Gunn's Superman in a number of territories, including Canada, the UK, Ireland, and Australia. Yikes! What is going on? Listen, I need all these lawyers to get fired. Who are these lawyers? Who are these people? First, Michael Jackson in the biopic. Y'all can't even use a third of your movie. Now, you can't even show Superman in all these countries? Nobody cleared this? Nobody figured this out? You don't need these super problems. You don't need this. Now, I'm sure this is all going to go to court. This is going to pan out some way, somehow. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know how this can be a thing, that a property this well known, this big. Now, we're not talking about like, a little book or, a little indie movie. We're talking about Superman. Your grandmother knows who Superman is. Your auntie, your cousin, your neighbor. Everybody knows who Superman is. You mean to tell me y'all don't have? Like, the fact that it's even brought up as a question is mind-boggling to me. But they're going to have to sort that out. They're going to have to do that relatively soon because what is this come out in July, I want to say? TikTok. All right, guys, what do you think about these super problems? How do you feel? What do you think? Whatever it is, let me know in the comments down below. Kiki, what you got? Henry Cavill deserves justice, and I'm gonna stand by it. Sure. I don't disagree that Henry Cavill was done bogus. However, I do not believe the onus of that justice belongs to James Gunn. All those previous administrations, all those previous executives, they owe Henry Cavill justice. Remember, WB went over. They went over new exec, fired these people, fired it. They're the ones that owed him something. That's not James Gunn's problem. James Gunn came in to clean the slate of what was not working. And the best idea to me was start over. You have to start over. Because as we know, And I'm sure they might want to admit it. If you keep a little bit of the Snyderverse, just a little pinch, boy, them Snyder fans are going to be like, well, why can't you keep it all? If you give them an inch, they're going to want a mile. If you give them Henry Cavill, they're going to be like, why can't we keep Jason Momoa as Aquaman? Why can't we just bring back the Snyderverse? Why can't we just... So the best solution, and it sucks, because yes, I liked Henry Cavill as Superman. I had no problem with him as Superman. The problem is the fan base. The fan base was not going to let them cook. It was always going to be review bombed. It was always going to have some drama, some headlines. That was the problem. They ironically forced that whole situation where Henry Cavill, you're not part of this. Again, he might come back. He might come back in some off-world, elseworld thing. But listen, if Henry Cavill can move on, I think everyone else can move on. Henry Cavill's about to go do that Space Marine, Warcraft. What is it? Warcraft or something like that. Whatever it's called. He's about to do that other project. This man is a Dungeons and Dragons nerd. He's finna go do some other. He is living his life. I think he just had a kid. He's fine. He is okay. If he's not sweating this, I don't think anybody else got to sweat it. That's just my opinion, though. All right. Thank you, Kiki. I appreciate you always. Thank you so much for watching. This was just a segment of one of my live chats, and if you're interested in joining in on the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.